right. Before we start the party, I want to say a big thank you to a lot of people for making this happen. Of course, nothing went wrong yesterday. So we didn't have to move anything at all. And we moved heaven and earth to get this stage with a monitor. So thanks to basically everyone, from Spijker Sound, Angry Nerds, of course, Vok for the video stream, because this was not a recorded stage. Now it's a recorded stage. Foxit, of course, for the excellent, everything. The Faced for carrying me, Dimitri for the flames in a moment, and everybody else that I forgot. Thanks. Give them a big round of applause. They did really, really a lot of work. With that being said, let's start the party with a little bit of music. You are allowed to dance, by the way. Yeah, welcome. Let's fucking go. Finally. And the Bomberjack is really too hot for now. But this Bomberjack is actually the reason that this talk is happening. Dimitri, who's doing the flames as well, has a conference called Hacker Hotel. And he made the mistake of starting selling Bomberjacks in his web shop for the conference. So, yeah, and then you have to create the talk that matches. And I hope this will suffice. So give me a moment. I have improved on my condition, if you've seen my previous talk, but but it's still a little bit rough, especially after so many days of being at the camp. Excellent, awesome camp. So what you just heard was the Journey Through Despair by the composer from Breda, Max van Oort, released somewhere at the end of last year on the Be Yourself music label. And what we're going to do, we're going to travel through time and listen to various tastes and genres of hardcore. So just to be superfluous, I see people laughing, so the screen is working. There might be some flashing lights and annoying audio. Also a content warning. Hardcore music is a little bit rough, so it can contain swear words and everything that you might find insulting. That's exactly the point. So I'll get back to that. Let's see if this works as I think it works. Yes, it does. Nice. So we're starting our journey in the 1990s. Back then, hardcore did not exist. But you had experimental musicians that created new types of sound and audio that they like, as is with musicians. And there was one particular musician called Mark Arkadi Pan, or Mark Trauner, from Frankfurt. And when he was about 20 years old, on April 7, 1990, Mark released a song called Mescalinum United. And this is seen as the first hardcore song ever created. But yeah, well, you don't know if something is a new genre unless somebody else picks it up and makes more of it. So this is widely regarded as the first hardcore song ever. And I've got a short clip. So it doesn't have the kick drum that we all know, but it's still hardcore, because you can make hardcore without the kick drum. Surprise. And I've got a few examples. Mark was experimenting, or a PCP, or one of his many other aliases. And moment. Zal jullie ietsje kunnen dimmen? Ik heb ze weggestuurd. Right. So there was a researching phase about what is hardcore, how can we make hardcore, and there have been various attempts of making hardcore music, and I'm gonna go through a few of them. And well, we started in Germany because hardcore is not a Dutch invention. The Dutch played a role, but that was later on. Maybe it was, but well. Let's say it's a German invention. On the other side of the Netherlands, in the UK, there was also a musical genre that was called UK hardcore. So they also had a flavor of hardcore, and they could even do without the ridiculous kick drums. So I've brought a song which is called United by Inner City, which was remixed or bashed into pulp by a producer called Kevin Saunderson, Rhys Saunderson, very popular dance and house music producer. And well, in the 1990s, and especially 1992, house music was already very, very, very big. And it was so influential that the house music sound that you heard in the 90s, the early 90s, is the same stuff that we still play on many, many house parties and records to date. So that was the era where a lot of new electronic music was created. And we're also going to see how that was created later on in this talk. So let's go to a piece of hardcore music that does not contain the familiar kick. And better yet, one of the most popular hardcore songs ever produced by PCP, or in this case the alias Marshall Masters, is of course Stereo Murder, which has a kick drum which basically is somebody tapping a microphone with a large reverb. So like this, but a reverb on it, and that might be enough. So let's listen to that. You might be familiar. Really great classics. It's still played to this day at many, many parties. So we're going to look at hardcore from different perspectives, and one of them is the UK hardcore scene. And I brought one of these songs without a kick. The UK hardcore scene is mainly known for its high velocity sound music, and it has a lot of breakbeats. So you will recognize a lot of breakbeats. And one of the most popular, by far, artists coming from the UK hardcore scene is The Prodigy. And I think everybody here knows The Prodigy. So I did not bring The Prodigy, because you know this already. I brought something else. To condense and to save some time, I've made some small mixes for this talk. And these mixes contain about 6 or 7 songs, compressed into, I think, 2 minutes or 1 minute. So one of the things that was defining of UK hardcore and also early Dutch hardcore was the use of random archaic samples. And that's fucking annoying, but it was very popular back then. I cut all of that out because we want to listen to something nice. I'm sorry. I don't know which side I should try. I think this side. I should have a marker that I know which side of the record player I have to use. So let's go to UK hardcore. No, that's not UK hardcore. Marker goes here, and then it doesn't do anything. But luckily, I can see what happens here. That is happening here. La, la, da, da, da. All right, here we go. So, thanks. I don't know if you can see the screen at all. All right, excellent. So, Liquid is Liquid by Liquid was the last song played. And this is a special song in the genre because, and this ties everything together. Liquid is Liquid is a song that has been played on a Dutch popular radio show. There was one radio station in the Netherlands, which was nationwide, which played house music. And it was public radio, and they had a radio show called For Those Who Like to Groove. And this is basically, they just made about 46 episodes, so not even a year, mostly because an extreme amount of substance abuse in the studio. so weed, it was like fog. The show was 2 hours every week, and the first week would be random tracks that would be released that year or that week, and the other hour was a DJ set by a popular DJ back then. And there have been 46 DJs, and one of these DJs was Eugenio Doorwart, which was the Dutch mixing champion. He won a mixing contest by playing vinyl records and mixing them very quickly and doing that with skill. And that episode I taped, and that had a profound impact on my life. I was like 8 years old, and I went to the record store and bought one tape, hit record, and that defined basically a lot of the rest of my life. Because the DJ set was so great. There was a rendition of that mix, and that was put on CD. That was this CD. If you want to play it later on, you can borrow it and rip it. If you have a CD player still, of course. The true hardcore all fans have a CD player. And this is actually a very interesting release, because if you look at the inside booklet of that CD, you see that there was a mixing contest, and you see very, very youthful pictures of DJ Chesto and DJ Paul doing the judging, and it's like, basically audio nerds in the 90s that loved music. So that's really funny to see. And why is this story important? Well, this DJ Eugenio was one of the founders, with his friend Steve Matthew, one of the founders of the Masters of Hardcore music label, which has parties until today. So every year they have a party in today it's in Den Bosch, in what's it called? Brabanthalle, yeah, good. It's not the Noord-Holland-Halle, right? So, in the Brabanthalle in Den Bosch, and it's still going on. So we'll get to that later on. That's far too early. So in the Netherlands, we've heard Germany, we've heard the UK. In the Netherlands, something else was going on. The music on the radio was getting louder and louder and rougher. And to illustrate this, I brought a short mix that has some really great classics from songs played on the radio in 1992. And you hear that there's a tendency to go towards rougher and rougher styles.
Still alive. James Brown's still alive. Wanna kiss myself. Hocus pocus. Fuck you up. Fuck you up. Fuck you up. I think our speakers are blown.
Well, the subwoofers work. That's the good news. You might have heard a slight change in production quality during the songs. That's because a lot of these old school songs have been remixed and rehashed, and Armin van Buuren has done a lot of those remixes, and they sound excellent. So it's just to give an impression that a good idea is still a good idea, but it sounds better. I also included some samples because there is a. Let me see if we are matching. Yeah, I added some samples because there's a requirement. If you make short mixes and DJ mixes or mega mixes from the 1990s, there's one requirement, and that is that you have to add Rotterdam termination source with poing, like poing, poing, poing. Otherwise, you will get evicted from your home. You will lose your bank accounts. You're basically not allowed to enter the Netherlands ever again. So this is why we had to use the sample. The last song was Overdog with Fuck You Up, a very violent song. And this was actually the favorite of DJ Rob back then. Also on the radio show for those who like the groove. The last episode was taped at a dark and grimy place in Rotterdam, and that's not saying much. Specifically, it was it was in Parkzicht in Rotterdam, a discotheque, and they ask every DJ or a lot of DJs that played their live set, so what's your favorite song? And DJ Rob, as far as I remember, because I typed over the interview because I was a kid, was his favorite song was Fuck You Up. And this DJ Rob is actually also very interesting because DJ Rob was basically the DJ that was in Parkzicht, the resident DJ. So you would always have a set by Rob as well. And Rob listened to what the people wanted, and from Rotterdam, they only wanted rougher and harder and louder. Yes, well, excellent. And that's basically it became like a sort of safe space for hardcore music. So at the end of the night, you would go harder and harder and rougher. So Rob also met a friend over there, a person named Paul. And Paul and Rob started organizing parties. The party is called A Nightmare in Rotterdam. They had CD series and everything. And Nightmare in Rotterdam is also still a festival every year in the Netherlands. Last year it was in Ahoy, Rotterdam. So it grew and it's still big after all this time. So that's a miracle. The Paul that I mentioned is well known as DJ Paul, which is also still a mainliner or headliner on many festivals. So a very, very big name. And the amount of years that they are working in this scene is just ridiculous. So they start from the start. So basically 35 years of hardcore. Rotterdam, of course, had some envy because there was this tendency to make music harder and louder and rougher, and of course. There was also another city in the Netherlands who wanted to take that crown. And that's, of course, Amsterdam. So Amsterdam and Rotterdam battled it out by making rougher and rougher songs. There was a lot of animosity, and you can hear that on the songs that were released back then. But the contest has been won by one DJ specifically, and for the outsiders, the outside listeners, this was not somebody from Rotterdam or Amsterdam, but was a farmer. It was farmer Harm Reefboer, basically translated to Harm the Rave Farmer, and he made a small house song. So let's listen to this creation. Oh, keep in mind, you were just listening to a very nice ballad on the radio. You were listening on your top 40 charts. And you were listening to super relaxed music with great singing. And then this comes on.
Rotterdam, Amsterdam, ik weet allebei niet waar dat ligt. Of dat er bestaat. Peet, daar heb je Dimitri. Is één vraag. Hey Dimitri. Ja. Ik heb ook een houseplaatje gemaakt. Je vindt hem vast goed en je wil hem vast remixen. Dan moet je eens even luisteren, Dimitri. Als de kloten! luisteren, Dimitri. Je vindt hem vast goed en je wil hem vast remixen.
Yes. And that was in the top 40 charts. So a lot of people were exposed to this new genre of music. Absolutely amazing. First hardcore song in the charts. And it was definitely the best hardcore song ever made. So they even had a cult movie, Alles naar de kloten, Everything is Fucked Up. And I've never seen it, but it portrays some of the gabber and hardcore culture back then with people in Australia. I don't know about the storyline. I've not seen it yet. If you have a copy, please lose a USB stick somewhere, then I can watch it. So you just heard the original from 1992 or 3, and there was a remix by Domine Dimitri in 2013 by Neophyte. So you heard something that was called a kick, like the bass drum, the very impactful bass drum, which defines the genre nowadays. And I can try to explain how you make a kick, but basically today it's kick in a can. So you can just watch one of the 1,000 YouTube tutorials and or download a premix and then go and play. It's not you don't need expensive equipment anymore to approach this type of music, which is nice. And I found somebody else with a beard to explain how do you make this hardcore kick.
Tempo kicks in zero. Inside of zero we take a sine wave, a saw.
I need some audio technician for improved audio quality. Yip, was it? Shall I just... Try it again?
Tempo kicks in zero. Inside of zero we take...
No, still not. We need somebody on stage to...
What do you need?
The laptop audio needs to be increased, the gain.
Tempo kicks in zero. Inside of zero we take a sine wave, a saw wave and put that through a bandpass filter which has a mix of lower than 100%. We put LFO1 on the coarse pitch of both oscillators, LFO2 on the level of the saw wave and LFO3 on the level of the sine wave. In the effects section we put an EQ, then we had a zero square distortion and a hyperdimension for some stereo. On the sound we put a filter bank with a hard clip and we play around a little bit with the filter until it sounds nice and resonant. Then before this filter bank we put this EQ, and this is really just trial and error. Try to boost the right frequencies of your kick and cap that off a little bit with the bass. The more bass you add before the distortion, the more crunchy it's gonna get. And as a final tip I like to add wider, and this is how it sounds.
So you can lower the volume again because probably in the next clip it will be louder. So this was Nibiri who explained the kick in the can. And it's, well, not too hard. There is a catch though. If you don't have this type of audio stuff at home, you will never experience what it will sound like on a stage. It will be completely different. And that's something I already noticed with my small mixes. I mixed it on like monitor speakers at home, which is totally different from the real deal. So you can make it sound really great and it will totally flop. If you play it live. So that's still a challenge. So you still need friends or somebody else that has like this audio set just to experience and learn if you do use the right frequencies and such. So this new type of music, Harm Reefboer, Alles naar de kloten, everything is fucked up, we need to destroy everything, caused a little bit of resistance. Such as with everything that is new, there's resistance, and there is the resistance against hardcore music is persistent as well. That's why they are in the story, because in 1993, there was a Christian person named Gerard, and he followed his son to one of these dance parties in the Energiehal in Rotterdam. And what he saw there was basically people cheering the devil and drug abuse and all kinds of other nasty things. So Gerard wanted to put a stop to that and started evangelizing. So he thought of, let's bring a big red bus and start to convince people to accept the love of Jesus Christ, our Savior. And started doing so in March 1993. And well, you even see this red bus in a movie called Hardcore Never Dies. It's a movie or series. Well, it's pretty nice. It has a nice portrayal of hardcore culture. That's what it does very, very well. And there's this intervention method where this red bus appears, and that's also done very well. That's really neat. So let's see if this organization for evangelization still exists. So last Sunday I went to their website, and this is their site, and they have an agenda. And then you can download a nice PDF file. So here's a PDF. And there you have an agenda. And you see, basically, it's an agenda from February. I was lying. So they have basically every week a place where they do evangelization. But you have to read the agenda inside out, because then you know where the party's at. So you can go to Rotterdam Rave, or back then, or you go to State of Trance. So just get the agenda, and you know where to go. Google the date and house or hardcore, and you're fine. But things have changed a lot over the years, like a lot. Because hardcore and house music, well, there's a lot of stuff that is Christian themed. There's Christian themed hardstyle, like not just a little bit, like an entire genre of Christian themed hardstyle, and that was before the AI slop. So this was actual dedication to making hardstyle with a Christian theme. And there's probably more rock music now out there which has a Christian theme. And there's these YouTube channels like God's Nation and whatever. Cross Nation that has like millions and gazillions of views. Same style of music, different message. And to be honest, some of that stuff is actually good. The hardcore is so-so, but for what I've heard, but the hardstyle it's passable. And I brought something with me. So if we're going to listen to a small section of hardstyle, and now I have to get something off my chest about old school hardstyle. When in the 2000s this was very popular, but for me it was always waiting till something happened. Like he had these songs with 3 minutes with 4 kicks in it. So he's like, yay! Okay, now I have to wait for 5 minutes. Like I have a problem with my what is it, conditie? Stamina, with my stamina, but not like 5 minutes and as such. So this is basically my angry rant chart for hardstyle back then. I'll give you a little bit of time. It was my annoyance. So industrial hardcore was my savior back then. So we're going to listen to a bit of hardstyle from Sonar. And because it's hardstyle, I pitched it up a little bit so it sounds like hardcore, and we're done with it quicker. Hey. Let's see what button it is. No, maybe it is this one.
I know your love is true. My God, you are. most.
Well, so the envelope changes, but the message stays the same. So we can have infinitely more hardcore now. Yay! So and there was never any resistance to any type of new music at all. For example, the Rolling Stones, which had the exact same problems, and the Beatles, and then they start as a countermeasure. The religion people started listening to Hammond organ and playing the Hammond organ. I don't know. That's too much for now. Back to hardcore, early hardcore, somebody walked on stage. The first. Technician, you go ahead.
Hello. My name is Nanne. I'm the light technician from the party area, and the only thing is, I want to mention, 20-second interruption. I was there in August 1992 in the Energie Hall, which you mentioned. I was a light guy there. That was my speech.
Yeah. Like working, eh? You were working there. Actually. Working there, still in the business. Going strong. Thank you very much. So early hardcore, the things that they played over there. Well, the difference between those Christian thing and the hardcore thing is that hardcore doesn't really take things seriously. It's a way to express your emotions. You know, the 4 baseline emotions: anger, rage, frustration, and grief. So hardcore has all these emotions, and it's basically the ogre of the music industry. It does have the emotion, but you have to peel it off like an onion. So I've brought a short mix with early hardcore songs, and you will see that the themes in the songs widely vary. So it's from substance abuse, violence, jealousy, and trees and happy birds and nice meadows. So I'm already lost in what I did. Let's try it again.
At the count of 3, I want y'all to tell me the name of my DJ. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Over to my show, analyze how the sound flow on the down low, fuck around, lay around,
One balloon, not enough for you? So yeah, there we go. The party is up there. So the last song was a song created by Duncan Stuttenheim, only pressed on a Thunderdome edition 8. And this is a name that's very familiar in the Netherlands. This is the letter D from I, D, and T, here from Duncan and Theo. And they had this idea when they were in school, like have a nice school party and invite like 100 people or maybe 200 people and have a nice time together. And so they did. And this was a very nice success. And they thought, well, we can do the same for 10,000 people. They did that as well. So they rented a part or the entire exhibition fair Utrecht Jaarbeurshalle, which is pretty massive. And they had a line-up of 7 DJs. Per, Dano, Busfus, Matthäus, Robin Albers en Rob van Parkzicht. So Rob van Parkzicht. Also Robin Albers, which was the name from the radio show For Those Who Like to Groove. He was allowed to play there if the rave was promoted on the radio, like public radio. Today that's illegal, but unless it's new, this was new, so might be fine.
I was there.
You were?
Yeah, Steven. Yeah.
Oh wow, you were.
I did sound over there.
Yeah, excellent. You did? Awesome. That's hardcore.
I don't think anyone heard what I said.
Oh yeah, so Steven said there's like this sneaky in-ear thing. Steven did the audio in that on that final exam party. So there you go. Now I start to understand more and more why you want to have me on this stage. So well, nice. So this party, if you are looking closely at the names, you can't. We'll wait till the fog clears. There was these 7 DJs. If you would listen to any of the songs that they played back then, it was mostly house music. So like regular house music. Maybe some special harder things, but they all of these names, for example, from the Dream Team, have a background in different styles of music. And yeah, well, they played house music, and hardcore was like an evolution to them as well. And they revolutionized a lot of stuff. So this first party, this was a success. It is documented by 30 Years Dutch Dance, a very nice documentary. You can look it up online. So this was their biggest party ever. So the biggest indoor house party ever, I think, or at least somewhat nearing hardcore. And he thought maybe it was such a success, maybe we should do this again. And they looked for a new location for reasons, I don't know, but enough reasons. And they came at a spot in Friesland, in Tialf. They had this nice ice skating ring, and there they wanted to play the rougher sounds, so like the booming sounds. You could say thundering sounds. And the ice skating ring was sort of a dome. So there is the Thunderdome. The name Thunderdome. Here you see the 2 of the promoters. I don't know who is who, but here you see them holding on a poster for the Thunderdome, aka Donderkoepel, aka Thunderdome. So the font is Pritchard. You can create your own logos if you want. And Thunderdome was a massive success, and they had this really nice storyline on how they claimed the name and the trademark for Thunderdome, but that's in their documentary Thunderdome Never Dies. So I incline you, please watch it. It's really awesome. Thunderdome, it was a massive success, mostly because they had the biggest distributor of CDs in the Netherlands, Arcade Music, backing their promotion. So Arcade basically had a buck or a tray of CDs in every record store in the Netherlands. It had like labels with Arcade and such, so it was very, very well recognized, and they did very commercially active. They were very commercially active on TV and radio with commercials and such. So Thunderdome was so big. Here's some collection from a random person on Facebook. Chao is one of the biggest collectors, lives in Spain. And basically you see an entire basketball floor filled with Thunderdome merchandise and flags and stuff. If you've ever been at a Thunderdome event, at the end of the event, everything with the name Thunderdome is stolen. Everything. It's ridiculous. I've been to one of the movie premiere. It's like they open up everything to steal the posters. It's ridiculous. It's completely mad. So, yeah, hooray for Thunderdome. And they make nice swag. I've got there's my nice hoodie. Actually, great stuff. So, yeah. I'm not getting paid for this. And this is one of the commercials that they used. I hope that the volume is okay. Let's just try it out. That can be louder.
Tracks from hell.
Ooh, from hell. Spooky, scary skeletons. I don't know, this is a theme amongst hardcore. Spooky, scary skeletons. And Arcade was fucking big, and they had like a gazillion. If they have one successful thing, they think, well, we can do this a million times. So here's all the other series that Arcade Music made, like Happy Hardcore and Earthquake and Club X, Hell Sound, whatever. One of them is actually worth your time, which is the series of House Party. This series, they made 13 editions or something like that. Those are actually good, and the rest, I think Thunderdome is for hardcore a good compilation, but biased towards their own producers, of course. There have been many other compilations. For example, Roughneck had Raver's Night, and there was Mokum Records, A Nightmare in Amsterdam, Terrordrome, like millions, Masters of Hardcore, so millions of other of these compilations. And of course, you could buy the vinyls or CDs yourself, but has been some pre-selection done here. If you want to start your hardcore collection, you can do so. There's one warning. Do not buy anything that is stamped with a Fifth Gear logo. It's absolute garbage. most of it, by far. And to give an illustration on how garbage it is, here you see the front cover of ID&T's 25 Years of Hardcore. And the same week, Fifth Gear also published a 25 Years of Hardcore compilation. Graphical design is their passion. This is their layout. It's scandalous in every way. And this 25 Years of Hardcore was a lie because they released the same compilation with the exact same tracks 10 times before. So it's a scam. And now I'm just afraid that the producers of this label discover Suno AI. That would be just hell. So, the early hardcore, let's take a deep dive in how it's made. Sorry, I don't have a hardcore remix of this theme. This is still an open field, so feel free. There is a group of nerds which has a yearly competition for making hardcore the way it used to be made. At home, in your own... on your own Commodore Amiga with just 4 tracks, and we're going to dive into that. The reason is the commercial they made for the competition, which is also has a commercial. This commercial, I think, says it all.
Verdorie, alleen maar de hardste Amiga tracks. 1 cassette, ongeveer een half uur. Not great or terrible. Komende zomer in Helsinki, Finland. Van Decadence.
So it's exactly like the arcade commercial, only on running on a Commodore Amiga. And it was so much fun that I thought, and I listened to the tracks and I thought, maybe I can just compete. And the fun is, oh yeah, all right. So sorry, it's a bit foggy here. The fun is, if you do it right, you get selected and published on a cassette tape. Which is about half an hour, it says in the commercial. So here you've got all the cassette tapes. They also have 1 minute disc and a mega mix CDs, because these hardcore labels, especially Thunderdome, once in a while they produce like a compilation mix, which I've let you hear as well. This is one of these. This is the Thunderdome 5 mega mixes. It's basically everything on one Thunderdome edition crammed into like 20 minutes. So yeah, and mixed very well. So let's compete in the Boost Drum hardcore competition and make hardcore the way it's supposed to be made. And there's some restriction, because you have to be able to play the song on Pro Tracker 2.3D, which was released in 1994. The maximum size is 500 kilobyte, which is absolutely huge in terms of Commodore. And the maximum length is 3 minutes, because we don't want your song to go on and on. So, challenge accepted. I have this rough idea to do a few things. One is pander to the organization, so you have a bigger chance of winning. The next one is to include one of my favorite artists, DJ Promo, seen in the middle, converting joy and peace to hate and insanity. That's his main quality. And borrow stuff from his collection of music and blatantly steal it. And throw it all in the blender. So then the brainstorming phase happened. So I wanted to ruin something nice that everybody loves. I wanted to use a well-known melody. I want to pander. I want to include SpongeBob SquarePants, which Promo also did. So I started going to work and have a great time, as you can see in the image. And let me tell a little bit about a very, very small bit about music production, the bit that I can comprehend. Here is the composition that I made. It's basically, you have a few swimming lanes. This is new software. So it's absolutely new stuff, and you can make your music there. It's much easier to use, I think. Some people might disagree. And here you see some horizontal swimming lanes, and if you start swimming, you come across these colored bars, and it has a certain sound, and you just play that sound. You go from left to right on a certain or a certain speed, and then you have like a piece of music. You can play pieces of sound at a certain interval. So let's zoom in on this a little bit, then it may be more clear. So here at the bottom, these are 4 swimming lanes. At the bottom we have this Fuck Atari sample, which is taken from the commercial. And at the top you see small pieces of audio, which has been taken from another, like a kick drum or something. So I can reuse the same audio byte that was already somewhere else to save disk space. So you can actually see the waveforms of the Fuck Atari sample if you zoom into the software. It's really nice. And you can even zoom in. It's great software. You can zoom in to absolute insanity. And I found out that this piece of audio is actually called a sample. And if you zoom in enough, you see this line with dots, and every dot or a data point is exactly a piece of information. If you have 44,100 of these data points a second, then you have CD quality audio. Whatever you want to put on it. This sample, this data point is also called a sample. So a sample is made out of sample. I'm not making this up. So if you look, you can even zoom in even more on this sample, and then it looks like this. So once your composition is complete, you have to make it work on your Commodore Amiga. So you extract all these small pieces of audio and as a waveform, and then you have to convert it in some way. And there is a challenge. The better your quality of audio is, the more data points you have per second, the more space it will take, which means you will easily exceed the 500 seconds or the 500 kilobytes if you want to do a lot or have long samples. And if you go for blatant thievery, such as I do, I have like long samples, so I have to make do with something. I had to do some tricks. So I just wrote some software that converts the sound that I want in every conceivable note that there is on the planet, which is exactly 30 if you are a Commodore fan. And the higher up, you cannot see that, the higher up the list, the more kilobytes it takes. So you can go to worse and worse and worse and worse quality. And sometimes you can just choose a poorer quality in a different tone and still have the same effect, and to save space. So next we are going to put that in ProTracker, the old school software, which is still developed, a clone by Olaf Sorensen. And it's still getting patches like every year, and highly appreciated. It's really nice. And then you have to learn ProTracker, which is exactly the same as the previous piece of software in essence. Only the swimming lanes go down instead of left to right for aesthetic and reasons that you cannot. It was easier to fit. And ProTracker is actually a piece of magic software. It's absolutely amazing in what it can do. It can edit samples, it can play different octaves, it can do delays, it can do all kinds of neat trickery. But you have to learn the input format, and that's a little bit of wizardry. And I liked really getting into that. So what you see here are the swimming lanes that we've seen before, and each of those consists out of a code. So here's the code, which says the first part, C2, says the frequency of the note. The second part, the 0, 1, says the sample. So what sound do we want to play? And the last part is the command plus parameter. In this case, it's the speed or the tempo. It says 200 beats per second, 200 BPM. So in a nutshell, here you see the swimming lanes in both pieces of software. It's exactly the same, only it's written down in a different way. So you're making your song, and then you submit it like 10 seconds before the deadline. And it is it's 140 bytes left, so skill issue. Still could use more. And for some reason, they decided to put it on the tape. So I've never heard it before on a serious installation. I have no clue how it sounds. It might be fucking terrible. So bear with me. It takes a few minutes, and I will match up with a checklist where all the ideas are checked off. So here is one of the songs from the competition.
Number 8, $7 each, fan service.
I think we need more bass in a second.
Door aan irritant deuntje. Fijn, nu haal ik 2 dingen. luisteren naar een gezellige radiozender. Fijn, nu haat ik 2 dingen.
Thank you very much. So they were actually as stupid to put it on the tape and the mega mix CD. So it's funny. So and for the person who watched the video, there were 4 tracks available. I used only 2. So imagine what will happen if I use all 4. So thank you very much. Thank you for your love. This is a little bit of how you can make it. If you want to compete in this competition, it's yearly. It's Boostdrome. You can find it at boostdrome.com. And just make a song, send it in. And if you do a half decent job, they might even put you on a tape. So back to more hardcore. I was amazed. If you lower the quality, the high frequencies disappear, and that's what you sometimes heard, like this enormous drop. That's what happens. So back to old school, early hardcore. Hardcore is actually the only Dutch culture that made international youth culture that made international fame. Hardcore was big. You see all these compilations with like all these CDs and such. It was enormous market for that. And basically there was 2 types of youth back then. There were skaters and gabbers. And you were either one of them most of the time. If you want to join the hardcore scene back then, or they had this outfit for you. There's this hardcore starter pack. So you have to wear this Australian tracksuit, 2 colors usually. Nike Air shoes. Use a hair clipper to remove all your hair. That's by choice. I'm not old at all. You have to wear hippie glasses, ear protection, and for some reason, they were also always chewing on something. They had like bubble gum. Basically, everybody was wearing this type of outfit, and you can still see it in some parties, and it's respected still. And hardcore was so big that somebody or two somebodies by accident made an invention that would dominate the charts in 1997. And these 2 people are Jeff Porter and Vlammen and Abraxas. And they had a swap deal with a producer from the UK, Technohead, where they would make a remix of I Want to Be a Hippie. And you see them here on the picture, which was probably taken in Amsterdam. There's some slight clues in the picture. Basically, the whole background, Moken Records, the cap has 3 crosses on, and there's somebody in an Ajax t-shirt. This is the least Amsterdam in the picture, I guess. They made I Want to Be a Hippie, and they made a new type of bass drum for this song, and it was a hit. It was an overnight success. They made a small clip, and this clip was played on heavy rotation on the clip channel TMF back then. It was really, really big. But with that song, a new genre of hardcore was born called happy hardcore. And happy hardcore, basically, I've got some discs here, Hakkebar and the Miles of Smiles by the Beat Squad and a lot of other stuff. It was a series like this is from my youth. I brought this short mix with some happy hardcore songs. Let's see if you remember some of these. There you go. No, the other one.
en zagen, zagen en hakken. Hoor je die bass?
Nope.
Miljoenen, die moet je voelen!
I mean, fuck off. So as you can hear, happy hardcore was not always as well received by the real hardcore fans. And it had several reasons. Well, first off, the happy hardcore was big, as I mentioned before. Here are some. There were like about 20 happy hardcore songs in the 1996 top 100 chart. So from that year. So there have been many more in the charts that year. It was really, really big. And here you see Gabber Piet, which was on number 2, and number 1 was Gabbertje by Hakkebar. And this Gabber Piet actually is a very interesting person. Why? Well, he was the presenter of a TV program called Hakke on TMF, the clip channel. And he was very well respected because he did interviews and was the only outlet for the hardcore scene to be shown on TV. So he had nice clips and such with hardcore songs. And I remember taping those things way back then. But there's something else. Hardcore became really big, really big. So the first thing that Gabber Piet created was he misspoke on the song Hakken en Zagen, which was a joke, by the way. It was like, hey, let's make something funny, let's make something nice, let's produce a song, go out to the woods with a couple of friends and do like this and see what happens. And then it was number 2 in the charts. Not really expected so, but yeah, sometimes accident happens. And the hardcore scene didn't really like it, so therefore you got bass moet je niet horen, die moet je voelen. So thank you for that. That's one part. The other part where Gabber Piet and Happy Hardcore made a really big dent or change is something else, which is a more serious topic. Hardcore was big and attracted also new people to that. And here are some people from IDT that tell a little bit about that. It's in Dutch. I will roughly translate, but from the imagery you might get an idea what it's about. And I hope it's loud enough. Ready?
Ondanks het stigma, kale kop en trainingspak en het zag achteruit. Het waren eigenlijk al gabbers, waren vrienden van elkaar. 20.000 mensen die voor de muziek kwamen, er gebeurde eigenlijk niks. En daar kwam een omslag. Het ging heel snel.
Het werd gewoon grimmig. Toen kwamen ineens de kistjes en letterlijk fysiek hebben wij vechtpartijen gehad. We hebben in Leeuwarden echt met pijpen in ons hand gestaan. En toen werd het dit vond ik heel lastig. Vond ik een hele moeilijke tijd.
En die trekt aan jaren maken, foto maken, foto maken, foto. Toen begonnen ze in één keer allemaal met die handjes omhoog begonnen ze te staan. Ja, dat had er helemaal niks met het feest te maken. Maar ja, dat maakt het voor mij wel enorm moeilijk. Want ze begonnen op een gegeven moment allemaal zo te staan.
Het was jammer ook, vervelend en ook niet eerlijk. Ook niet eerlijk voor de gewone hardcore-liefhebber. En ik denk dat, gelukkig heeft Gabber Piet het opgelost voor ons. Daarin, want Gabber Piet kwam en toen werd het een beetje een grap.
So you've seen some imagery where the hardcore people, the people that listen to rough style of music, tend to be very, very friendly and open. And there was a large influx of Nazis and fascism. It was to the point that if you would say you would listen to hardcore, you would be getting the question, I had that question several times, so you are a Nazi then? No, fuck off. But it's a very painful question to get. So they basically took it over, and by the hyper-commercialization of hardcore music, they didn't think that was cool, so they left. Hey! So, the solution, hyper-commercialization. So yeah, that's where Gabber Piet also had this. This is the only documentary, Thunderdome Never Dies, where the rise of Nazis in the hardcore genre is actually addressed very well. So that's also a big thumbs up to them, because it was a problem. It's not anymore, because there was something else that was happening. Hardcore was still going on and going on, but people were getting tired of it. They were getting bored of it, because you had first off happy hardcore, which was like making you look like a fool. Then you had the problem that the music itself was so defined that it wasn't new anymore. There was no innovation. So you had the same synthesizer and the same bass drums and kick rolls and snare drums and etc. It basically became a cliche. It became so super boring. It was like, okay, yeah, well, I'm done with it. And that's also addressed in a documentary by Willem van der Aar, which has really nice clips from the hardcore scene, but also that you see that it grinds to a halt. So, at the end of 1998, beginning 1999, hardcore was basically dead. And hardstyle, with the long delays and pauses, took over, because that was actually new. Except for a few studios, small studios that had these dark attics and small flickering monitors and new DJs or innovative, creative geniuses listening to their new sounds, having like blood flowing from their ears. One of them is DJ Promo, who brought this new type of sound to Thunderdome, which was much more industrial. So it's rougher, it's slower, it has more time to get better bass sounds, it has more time to get better melodies. So instead of going like 250 BPM all the time with the same synthesizers, new stuff emerged. So when something dies, something else takes its place. Also, you saw Roughneck, a very popular label back then, dying off, and that became Enzyme Records. You saw Masters of Hardcore, which was really pulling the hardcore industry along and just kept on going and kept on going. They just made something new and something new. So here's this Master of Hardcore logo, and I brought it with me. Actually, there's a lot to it. You see on this picture, this is Frank. You see, this is Frank. 3, 2, 1. Hello, Frank. We can do that again. Frank is still angry. See how angry he is? My God! You try it again. 3, 2, 1. Oh, he likes that a lot. See, he's even blushing. So there's still the spooky, scary skeleton theme is something we will never get rid of. But hardcore from the early 2000s became much more interesting. And it became also a little bit harder to mix if you want to give a short overview of the genre. So I tried to bring 6 songs together, and it's already started to become a little bit harder to make a great selection, because there's now things like sub-genres. So let's try something out.
You give me the word, you gave me the light. So if it takes for me to suffer, for my brother to see the light, give me pain till I die.
toch dood? Je moet je mond houden! Ja, moet eens even luisteren joh, ik was al gabber in 1991. En toen kwam ik al in de grootste feesten man. Maar ja, het is toch dood of niet? Ik ben er maar mee opgehouden. Je moet je mond houden! Ik heb mijn ouders verbrand. Ik heb mijn Nike weggepleurd. Ik ben een baan gaan zoeken. Oh, dat kut niet.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate, so we can buy shit that we don't need. The middle children of history, man. No purpose, no place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives.
So a lot changes. If you take more time, you add more melody, you get more people that have more different background in music, you get a more interesting type of music. So the last one is one of my favorite, Ophidian, The Middle Children, sample taken from Fight Club. So obviously blatant thievery happens all over. So hardcore back then changed a lot, and now it's called millennium hardcore. So it makes me feel so old. It's terrible. So the lessons learned, the management summary. So if you make a party where everybody is welcome without the politics and your foosball, then you have a bigger crowd. If your clothing style is not mandated but more loose, it's easier to join. So that's nice. If you have more experiments in music and make it, try different things and push the boundaries, you get something more interesting that people want to listen to. So that's verandering van spijs doet eten, maar I couldn't find the English translation on the top of my head. So the result of these steps is that hardcore is bigger than ever. Except they name it differently. Today, if you have something that's, for example, raw hardstyle, it's basically hardcore. Or you can say hardcore is basically faster hardstyle. I don't know. It is very, very close to each other. And you have like very, very, very different genres of hardcore. But just name it hardcore for ease. And then you get posts online on Reddit like this. Is gabber culture getting too big? There's so many TikTok gabbers and they're all fake. No, they're doing God's work. They're promoting our genre of music. So more people can listen to it. So it's excellent. So no, it cannot be too big. But bad music is bad music. So yeah, then you switch to a different style of hardcore probably. And you can see how big it is in the Netherlands. There's this music for Carnival, which is made by Snollebollekes. I think personally it's more like hardstyle or hardcore for boomers. So popularized for a different market. Then there's of course Joost Klein, who did a happy hardcore song for the Eurovision Song Contest last year. There's like these metal bands that have like the most frequently watched bit of their clips is always the bum, bum, bum on the hardcore part. So hardcore is bigger than ever, and that's the good part. And there's so many subgenres, of which we're going to listen to a few. But I don't want to go into the details or specifics of what is what most of the time, because there's so many crossovers and weird stuff out there that it's a Splitter Millennium Dark Fusion jump style compilation. I don't know what that means. It's hardcore. So, and somebody else, way more autistic, made a nice graph of all different types of hardcore, of which I have some question marks, but that doesn't really matter. I couldn't find the hardcore in there. And the funny thing is, this is a person from either the UK or New Zealand, because if you would make this from Netherlands, it would be looking completely different. So, first dive into speed, because hardcore is known by its speed, fast-paced music. And how fast can we take this? Well, gotta go fast. I brought a few samples of faster hardcore. First, starting off with do I have the disc here? No, sorry. With a new genre that was developed in 1993, which was called terror. When I was a kid, I was prohibited by my parents to listen to Thunderdome. That's why I'm on this stage right now. And I went to the music store and I looked to the box, the tray of CDs, and I found something else, which was not Thunderdome. It was called Hell Sound. And so I went to the salesperson. It's like, can I listen to this music record? And they said, okay, it's fine. Yeah, something like that. And I put this on, and I just started laughing. It was so ridiculously fast. It was just insane, and I just cried from laughing. It was over the top. And I was like, okay, sold. So I brought the disc home to my parents, and they were like, yeah, shit, he's technically correct, so we cannot do anything about it. Let's see how well this goes. And well, here we are. So one of the songs on this record was called DJ Skinhead with Extreme Terror. And we're going to listen to a short excerpt from this. Let me cue something.
Extreme terror!
Nice. So not violent at all. It's the first. This song is called the first song that actually defines the terror genre, which is fast but still has bass. Well, that worked. If you go faster, the bass sometimes get lost or mingled with something else, and we can always go faster. So let's. Listen to a song, and I have a question for you afterwards of medical concern. And the song is called 40s Splittercore. So, who just felt their body relaxing? Yeah, then I have got news for you. Welcome to the club. You definitely have ADHD. I went to Masters of Hardcore with my sister in the Bosch, and there was this lounge, and the lounge was placed next to the terror stage, of course. as one does. And I walked into the terror room and was like, finally. Too bad about the music, but yeah, can't have it all. So that's a very nice self-diagnosis. And I actually still have the physical reaction that I get relaxed if I listen to this. It's what it is. But we can always go faster. And therefore we go to Japan by Kobario, very well-known artist. And this is on the Psycho Filth record label, and it is it has a sample from, I think, Ghost in the Shell, and it's basically fast. But that is not the fastest part of the song. That's actually this.
Gotta go fast. Come at me, bro. Gotta go fast.
Oops. Yeah, that's a sample now. So you can always go faster and faster. And there's a lot of hardcore from Japan, which is very interesting. And it was nice to learn about that it exists, and that's pretty big. I've, of course, seen people playing Dance Dance Revolution, but somehow never made the connection. Okay, yeah, this is hardcore music, and they're dancing to it. Okay. If you make it even faster, you go to the supertone, extra tone, hypertone. You can go to the. You can make it so fast that it's basically a beep or like this new age music, basically. I brought something that does an interesting change of pace. So yeah, what they did, take the kick drum, make it so fast that you have a new instrument, and then make dubstep from it. There you go. So at that point, it doesn't really, then it's just starting to become a sound, and you can shape and mold it into anything you want. There was this well-known DJ producer, I think, Dutch producer, maybe, I think it's Ophidian, who made just one small blip and then made a whole song out of it. So you can go as crazy as you want. Talking about blips, we're going to talk about the subject of peep kicks. All right. So actually, people that love it, usually I get a response like "fuck peep kicks," and you love it or hate it. It's one of those two. Personally, I love it, but there's many people, especially if you listen to millenniums, like fuck the new genre and there's new stuff. Okay, you go to the other hall, which is less important. Then we go to the main stage and have more room. Thank you very much. So it works really great. And peep kicks is basically what if you infuse a tone inside of your bass drum, which is already something that happens like a lot. But what if you add a very high and annoying tone to it? Then you get something new. And that's called peep kicks. And I made a short mix of about 6 songs. I hope you love your ears. Here you go.
PTSD.
Japan still has the most ridiculous shit. So yeah, I love it, but yeah, of course the show must go on, and there's also something new that I listen to too much, and I don't understand yet completely, which is called zaagkicks. It's basically a sawmill sound with not a distinctively recognizable bass. It's like, and I still need to get used to that because, well, I'm not gonna complain. It's new, so I love it. I listen to like 20, 40 hours of it, and still there's no click yet. So, well, but zaagkicks. Let's. I brought a very small sample, like this. It builds up from a normal kick to a somewhat harder kick to something that resembles a zaagkick. There we go. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah. Of course, the original song is much longer, but this is basically it, but then for 3 minutes. Another genre that they thought of was, well, happy hardcore isn't dead, it just has a new name and better kicks. And today, they call it Frenchcore. And it's fucking great. I love it. It has a lot of room for melodies from all kinds of genres. DJ Peacock is one of the bigger, well-known names in that scene, and using he has these trips, goes to Ireland or to Holland or to Valhalla, and makes a song that infuses that style of music, like folklore, together with hardcore, and the results are actually amazing. So I love that very, very, very much. This is also one of the stages where I go to on these festivals. What are the festivals? Thunderdome we have, and then Ground Zero. Yeah, Ground Zero in a few weeks. So yeah, see you there. See you there. Thunderdome, 13th of December. Ticket sale starts in a week or so. So let's listen to a little bit of Frenchcore.
My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good doors, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady, steady course to the haven, human foeman, human foeman.
It's just so fucking great. It's so fucking great. And there's so much of this stuff out there. So it's great that things change over time. It makes it better and better. So we have to embrace something new as well. Because, well, today every conference in the world is basically an AI conference. So why also is now an AI conference? And I tried, of course, using Suno to create a song that resembles hardcore. And it was okay and nice. And you can create this introduction with like these cliche voices, like in a world, in a time, in a place, like that, and then it has the most weak ass drop that you've ever heard. So it will take a while, but I think then I listened to the radio, and there was this AI radio station called HDFM, and they actually did it very, very well. So it was a skill issue on my part. HDFM was a radio station. They quit like August 1st for, I think, a combination of fees and legal reasons. But they wrote about 600 funny songs for their station. And in the end, after 9 o'clock, at the end of the day, at 9 o'clock, the watershed period would end. That means that they can play all the filthy songs and all the rough stuff. So during the day, if you would have it in the background, it was virtually indistinguishable from any commercial radio station out there. You couldn't hear the difference. But at night, there was a difference. So they had this DJ, AI DJ. They had AI traffic, but real traffic and news and whatever. They had this AI DJ in the night, which was doing a VOC era pirate, infused with TikTok and modern genre and memes, which was really complicated and interesting to listen to. And during that show, they had remixes of songs they played during the day. And one of them I want to let you hear, and you can decide if we should play this in this DJ set at the end of this presentation. So I'm going to let you listen to a very small part of Siroop. Here we go.
7 delen water, 1 deel siroop. H2O, het is zo lekker. H2O, het is zo verfrissend. H2O, ik kan het echt niet missen. H2O, H2O, H2O. 7 delen water, 1 deel siroop.
So yeah, do we want to listen to this song, but maybe on a different audio setting that it has on bass? Yes? Who says AI must fucking die? Some also, very, very well. Who hates this song? Okay, nobody. Yes, 2 people. Great. So yeah, we're gonna play this in a. So there is even AI that does hardcore a little bit, or sort of speedcore. Then there's only one thing that I would like to address before we're going to play some songs, which is the dance. We have seen that already here. So the question is, how do you dance to music that is 200 BPM for 12 hours straight? Well, the answer is you don't. You don't dance to it. You basically sort of march to it. If you do it like this, you're actually doing pretty well. You're halfway there. So if you can do that. But I brought some clips to show you a little bit of the leg work so you can dance along in a moment. Remember, first rule is you cannot go wrong. So you're always doing it right. Because, yeah, you can make it as crazy and as complex as you want. There's even some clips from a dance-off, which is in Poland, where you see people doing different styles of hakken. But it basically boils down to the same moveset. So here's a little bit of the moveset. And here's a clip from RTL News of a hardcore lover explaining how to do the dance.
Ik hou van de muziek, ik hou van de bands en ik hou gewoon van alles wat met hardcore te maken heeft. Dus ja, ik zou mezelf een gabber kunnen noemen.
Hey, en we zien jou ook in die videoclip.
Klopt. De maatje van Joost had mij een bericht gestuurd op TikTok en die vroeg of ik in de videoclip wou komen. En zodoende ben ik erin gekomen, ja. Dus stamp, stamp, stamp. Dan ziet het er een beetje meer als een golf uit.
Ik voel me nog geen golf, maar oké.
Het ziet er wel een beetje als een golf uit.
Beginnen we gewoon even bij het begin, Marie.
Ja.
Wij willen leren hakken. Wat is stap 1?
Het is een beetje de bedoeling dat je voet deze beweging maakt. Een soort van naar voren. Dus het is heel en dan kom je weer naar voren en dan ga je omhoog. Het beste is, zodra de ene voet naar beneden komt, gaat de ander omhoog. Oké, 3, 2, 1. En zodra de ene been omhoog gaat, gaan je armen mee die kant op. Dus deze kant gaat beginnen met mijn rechterbeen. Dus rechts, links, rechts, links, rechts, links, rechts, links.
Welkom in Europa, jongen!
En wil je nou ook mee naar Zweden?
Ja, ik denk dat iedereen die meedeed als gabber wel mee naar Zweden zou willen. Aan het eind van de dag ligt bij Joost en hoe hij dat wil. Lijkt me heel tof, Joost. Maar ik zou het niet erg vinden als het niet gebeurt. Ik ben al blij dat ik...
So yeah, this is a short introduction for the Eurovision Song Contest song. They made a nice video clip. And if you start moving like that and for other reason have like different moves and try something out, you can actually compete. For some reason, I've never seen a hakke dance-off in the Netherlands. I don't know if they exist. They don't exist on YouTube as far as I have found. But they do exist in Poland. And that's interesting because then you hear Dutch music, people wearing Dutch clothes and dancing and dancing the hakke song, but in Poland. So I brought some clips where you can see people going all out with crazy moves, and it's absolutely fun. Did you see them even jumping up and such? You can do that, but make sure that nobody is around you. Otherwise, you will kick them in the face, and then you will get kicked in the face and thrown out of the gate and such. You don't want that. Here's some other clips. So yeah, you see that he is moving his legs behind his heels like this. So you move a little bit backward automatically. It's a bit tricky, and if you do that, you will have a severe pain in your muscles, and it will take a lot of energy. What you see often in these parties that people go all out for 1 minute or 30 seconds, and then they're just tired. And the trick is, or a lot of drugs, and water. Or just do a more simple move that you can just keep up and not trip over the wires. So one more. Sorry, Polish. So there's some examples on how to dance to this. And for the next hour, I prepared some songs from the entire spectrum of hardcore. So it's not always mixable, just for our pleasure and entertainment. So I invite you to dance to it. Usually we would have like we have to move the chairs aside, and then we have a live set and a Norse curfew at 11. But now, things are different. So it will be a set for about an hour. So you can also get a drink or something and come back. And we don't have to worry about benches or chairs. So that's a win. So yes, let's rip the roof of this motherfucker. But first. But first, I want to go back to the question, what is hardcore? We have seen a lot of different types of hardcore and the origins. We've seen when hardcore was really well defined, people didn't like it anymore. So the most important part of hardcore is that it will never be defined as a very solid thing, because then it's not interesting anymore. So I invite everybody to stay creative. And yeah, that's it for this talk. Let's have a party.
down in
Ich bin das Kind eines Teufels, Mama. Du brauchst nicht zu heulen, feiern, als ich jeder Tag hier mein letzter ist. Spiel dieses Lied auf meinem Begräbnis. Ich bin das Kind eines Teufels, Mama. Du brauchst nicht zu heulen, feiern, als ich jeder Tag hier mein letzter ist. Spiel dieses Lied auf meinem Begräbnis. Ich brauch keine Rede, ich brauch keine Blumen. Schmeiß Alkohol und Drogen auf mein Grab. Das ist das Beste, was mein Leben mir jemals gab. Spiel dieses Lied auf meinem Begräbnis. Das Kind eines Teufels, Mama. Du brauchst nicht zu heulen, feiern, als ob jeder Tag hier mein letzter ist. Spiel dieses Lied auf meinem Begräbnis. Ich bin das Kind eines Teufels, Mama. Du brauchst nicht zu heulen, feiern, als ob jeder Tag hier mein letzter ist. Spiel dieses Lied auf meinem Begräbnis.
Together.
Ich will nicht, dass du heulst, ich will Tränen der Freude sehen. Du musst mein Leben feiern. Wenn ich sterbe, will ich ein Denkmal von mir mit einem Lachen auf mein Gesicht. Fuck it.
You give me the word. You gave me the light. You give me the word. You gave me the light. So if it takes for me to suffer, for my brother to see the light, give me pain. Give me pain till I die.
This is the most
crispy.
This is the most crispy bass drum in the world. This is the most crispy bass drum in the world. Bass drum. This is the most crispy bass drum in the world.
What is that?
Is the most crispy bass drum in the world. This is the most crunchy bass drum in the world. The most
version, software version 7.0. Looking at life through the eyes of a tire hub. Eating seeds as a pastime activity. The toxicity of our city, of our city. Whoa! Money on the world, honey on the sweater, sweater. Oh, somewhere between the sacred, silent secrets, silence and sleep. Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep, there's disorder, disorder. Between the sacred silence and sleep, there's order, disorder, disorder.
Let's come together and unite. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Let the fire burn inside. Nobody can stop this generation. Cause we're the children of the night. Don't ever let them put you down. Get up, get up, get up. Now is the time to change. Get up, get up, get up. There is no time to wait. Get up, get up, get up. Don't ever let them put you down. Get up, come along and join the scene. Live your life like a rave machine.
Met dit apparaatje kan ik mijn greatest hits of hardcore metal op z'n allerhardst afspelen. Ja, wat gaat je tijd, wat gaan we doen? Ja, dat wordt pompen met die subwoofer. Pompen met die subwoofer. What you take?
wordt gepompt met die
Ik ben nog wel aan het schroeven aan het apparaatje, maar hij kan nog een beetje harder. Hier doet mij.
Liquid means rewind, a gunshot means forward. You requested it, so we rewind.
I've got the mind of a lunatic.
de school weer gaat beginnen. Maar het grootste probleem waar we nu dus mee zitten, is dat we iets moeten verzinnen. Bijvoorbeeld. Over de golven gaan, de wetenschappers gaan op zoek naar wat is geen
Mam, Phineas en Ferb zijn een titelsong aan het maken. Mam!
Doe het ons mee, het is gekheid. Want de melodie, het is een en al blijheid. We zingen het voor een wijsjaar. Ik vind het een strop vervelend wijsje. Sorry. Ik vind het wel pakkend, dus niet.
Ik luister veel liever naar een gezellige radiozender.
Luister maar goed, het wordt een grote hit. Doe het als mee, het is gekheid. Wat de melodie, het is een en al blijheid. Wat een prachtig mooie wijs is dit. Luister maar goed, het wordt een grote hit. Doe het als mee, het is gekheid. Wat de melodie, het is een en al blijheid.
Dat jij naar die troep luistert.
Een en al blijheid. Door. En zie zich ooit de linker naar je rechteroor. Doe het als mee, het is gekheid. Wat de melodie, het is een en al blijheid. Niemand kan stoppen, dus je zingt maar door. En zie zich ooit de linker naar je rechteroor. Doe het als mee, het is gekheid. Wat de melodie, het is een en al blijheid. Wauw, kom, we draaien de plaat nog een keer.
We geven geen vak, zet het licht uit, we gaan vreselijk hard. Dit is mijn werk, nog steeds aan de drank. Neem er nog 4, ben er helemaal af. Nog steeds is het nacht, kijk in mijn ogen, ik geef je de kracht. Maak het beest los, ja we breken het af. Zei ik neem er nog 4, maar we nemen er 8. Alles kan kapot als het moet. Neem het aan of klap op je smoel. Botten kapot, breken de tanden. Godverdomme, de beest is weer wakker. Alles kan kapot als het moet. Neem een aanloopklap op je smoel. Alles kan kapot. Botten kapot, breken de tanden. Nog steeds is het nacht. Kijk in mijn ogen en ik geef je de kracht. Maak een beest los, ja we breken de vast. Zij ik neem er nog 4, maar we nemen de 8. Alles kan kapot als het moet. Neem een aanloopklap op je smoel. Botten kapot, breken de tanden. Godverdomme, de beest is weer wakker. Alles kan kapot als het moet. Neem het aan of klap op je smoel. Botten kapot, breken de tanden. Godverdomme, de beest is weer wakker. Alles kan kapot als het moet. Botten kapot. Breken de tanden. We geven geen mijn vak. Zet het licht uit, we gaan vreselijk hard.
Nog steeds is het nacht. Kijk in mijn ogen en ik geef je de kracht. Maak een beest los, ja we breken de bocht. Zei ik neem er nog 4, maar we nemen de 8.
Legends never die. They become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fight is here. It's deep in their bones, right into smoke when the fire is here. Legends never They're written down in eternity, but you never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and the pledge to peace. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to touch a dream. Legends never. Legends never.
My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, many foemen, many foemen. My mother told me someday I will buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand up on the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, many foemen, many foemen.
Tonight, we dine
we zijn de kampioen. 100 gram uit Nederland, ja wij gaan het samen doen. Die lijn die is wel erg lang, maar we zijn de kampioen. Nederland, ja wij gaan het samen doen. Die lijn die is wel erg lang, maar wij zijn de kampioen. 100 gram uit Nederland. Viva Hollandia. Opgekocht. Viva Hollandia! 100 gram uit Nederland, ja wij gaan het samen doen. Die lijn die is wel erg lang, maar we zijn de kampioen. Viva Hollandia! Offensief!
So fast, give me ADHD. Kick so fast, give me ADHD.
Gabber bags.
ADHD.
Gabber bags. Giving you up, never gonna let you down. Never gonna run and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell you lie and hurt you.
Bite your face like a dog with rabies. Eyes bloodshot, can't stop us, baby. Turn up in hell, taking shots with Hades. Crank up the bass, make your bitch go. There's a reason why haters hate me. Crank up the bass, make your bitch go crazy. There's a reason why haters hate me. Kick so fast, give me ADHD. ADHD.
Polizei. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, halte Keck, 7, 8, gute Nacht, 1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier.
That's the sound of the Polizei. Polizei. Polizei.
Police coming straight from the underground. Straight from the underground.
Polizei.
An army of secret police who held the power of life and death over every individual.
1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, halte Keck, 7, 8, gute Nacht, 1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier.
That's the sound of the Polizei. Polizei.
Fuck that.
Sounds of the beast. Polizei.
That's the sound of the
Polizei. Polizei.
police coming straight from the underground. The police straight from the underground.
Polizei.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Polizei, Polizei.
1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, halte Keck, 7, 8, gute Nacht, 1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier.
That's the sound of the Polizei.
What the fuck?
Polizei.
That's the police coming straight from the underground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, gute Nacht, 1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, halte Keck, 7, 8, gute Nacht, 1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier.
That's the sound of the Polizei.
Don't touch that there, yo.
make it brave. Bounce that floor, boom boom, move that body, shake that room, feel that vibe and zoom, some more, shake that room. Bounce that floor, boom boom, move that body, shake that room, feel that vibe and zoom, some more, shake that room. Time to shake. Drop that bass. Some more, shake that room. Bounce that floor, boom boom, move that body, shake that room, feel that vibe and zoom, some more, shake that room. Bounce that floor, boom boom, move that body, shake that room, feel that vibe and zoom, some more, shake that room. Bounce that floor, boom boom, move that body, shake that room, feel that vibe and zoom, some more, shake that room. Bounce that floor, boom boom, move that body, shake that room, feel that vibe and zoom, some more, shake that room. Time to shake. Make it break. No, shake that room, turn that bass, boom, 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 la, 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 la. Drop it now, make that room sell. No, shake that room, turn that bass, boom, 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 la, 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 la. Drop it now, make that room sell. No, shake that room, turn that bass, boom, 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 la, 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 la. Drop it now, make that room sell. No, shake that room, turn that bass, boom, 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 la, 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 la. No, shake that room, no, shake that room, turn that bass, boom, 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 la, 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 la. Drop it now, make that room sell.
Deze is voor de dorstige jongens en meisjes. 7 delen water, 1 deel siroop. 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 H2O, het is zo lekker. H2O, het is zo verfrissend. H2O, ik kan het echt niet missen. H2O, H2O, H2O. 7 delen water, 1 deel siroop. Zeven delen water, 1 deel siroop. 7 delen water, 1 deel siroop. H2O, het is zo lekker. H2O, het
This was the hardcore session for Y 2025. Thank you all. Love you. All right.